Wisdom Flow. New season, new intros.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
New video.
Yeah. Hello.
Watch us
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. It wouldn't be official if I didn't get them ice cubes and that fresh pour out, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
But we back, man. Whiskey and Wisdom, season 3, episode 1, video. How you fellas doing, man?
Hey, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, man.
If y'all haven't heard, that's my brother Tyrone in the building. Put a face to the name.
Yeah.
Mr. Blessed in the background.
Yeah. And so,
Mike, how you do, man?
Hey, bro, I'm good. I'm here, man. I'm just ready to get this started, man. I'm glad y'all can see us now. So don't ask no questions. You know who's who. Ain't no questions asked now. Y'all can see
ain't no
us.
more confusions now.
Yeah.
Yep. They know who
Yeah.
Pastor Mike look like, and this is your boy Bruce, live in the flesh. You know what I mean? Drinking out of that whiskey and wisdom glass, but you know, there's something coming up soon.
Yeah. How you doing over there, brother?
Hey man, I'm copacetic. I'm living life, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing gonna hold me back because I'm back. We back.
Facts.
Hey man, but you know, it's just little housekeeping stuff, man. You know, we had to take some time away, man. Take some time away, reflect, refresh. Make sure that we was given something to move people, you know what I mean, in the culture. Not just sitting here and doing the same old same, man. Because a lot of podcasts is out there. A lot of people record, a lot of people want to get their voices heard. I respect it, I love it. But amongst the noise, you want to stand out. So, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you're bringing in fresh takes, make sure that you providing something that people need. You know what I mean? There's no sense of just being another voice saying the same thing because we all supposed to be sitting in the house. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, people feel the way they want to feel and, you know, that's what they going to do. But we doing the responsible thing, man, socially distancing and all that good stuff. But we here, man. New season, new episode, man. And I want to go ahead. We just going to start right in or y'all want to add anything into that or how y'all feel?
No, I think you summed that up pretty well for me, bro. I don't know
Yeah,
if Mike got nothing
yeah,
to
man.
add, but I'm ready to jump into what we got to go today.
My brother's ready to cook.
I mean, people been
Yeah, man.
waiting. We've been away. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time back. You know, so we just excited,
Yeah,
man.
man.
That's all.
Yeah, man. I'm just excited to see what we're working on behind the scenes to really kind of present to y'all. So we hope
Yeah.
y'all enjoy it. Hope y'all appreciate it, and just know we coming. We said it last year, we on y'all ass, and we really mean it this year. We on y'all ass.
Hey man, that's a fact. So, episode 1 out the gate, man. I want to go ahead and we're gonna talk about some tech. There's a lot of people right now preaching tech. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things happening in tech. A lot of things happening. You know, there's a lot of people running it up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be as time poignant. I don't want to have everything pointed out to where we at in the times.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys with this tech situation that we're in, do you feel that these tech companies or these entrepreneurs or however you want to phrase them, are they creating to better our lives? Or are they creating to get the bag? Or they you know what I mean, they seeing what's winning and they say, hey, we're gonna make our own version of that. What's some of your thoughts on where tech is and where we going?
I mean, I think me personally, I think the initial idea or the initial concept, uh, a lot of times have good intentions. But then when you got other people that may not be able to get to that price point, I think that's when you kind of see other people kind of replicating or making their own version and, just kind of jumping on the wave and riding the wave out. And that product that they're kind of spinning off of doesn't always benefit you in any other way. than the original concept. And that's why I kind of got a problem with it. Like I'm cool if you want to if you if you see something cuz that's what today is we all kind of reinventing the wheel at this point. Um it's just that there are robotic things that they're creating to do our daily tasks. We're not having to remember to set reminders or turn the lights on and turn the temperature on, whatever the case may be. But it just seems like the person that comes behind the originator is not. It's just a new name, and it may look a little different, but it's doing the same thing. There's nothing that really separates it, and that's kind of where I see like maybe a little bit of the nastiness. Like, hey, I can do this. I got money to jump in, so I'm gonna get some of that goodness too while it's hot. That's kind of how I envision that.
Hmm.
Well, is it a flaw for seeing something that's working and then say, hey, look, that's working. I want to get my contributions. I want to make my coins too. I got the resources too. Let me go ahead and throw out a forum, shall we say? You know what I mean? And call the app checking in or something or chatty, whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because this company's got evaluated for $1 million. They don't have anybody that we view as people of the culture who's making this app work. Let me go ahead and make my rendition for us, even though they was the originators and they probably got the head step. Is that welcomed out there in tech?
I mean, I don't have any problem with anybody if they see a flaw in a way something works and they want to create an app that does better. But I think what happens is you start getting a industry convoluted full of just different apps doing the same thing with just different pieces. So then what happens is there's always going to be one app that stands out above the rest. Once that app gets to its evaluation point and then becomes public to the rest of the world for stakeholders to actually invest in, then that's when you start seeing things where like, okay, let's start buying up our competitors, i.e. Facebook. Let's start finding ways to grow ours and swallow up our competition. But with that, then it presents other problems when other apps become on that same level of plateau, i.e. Twitter, i.e. Instagram. But of course, Facebook brought Instagram out. So now we got Clubhouse. And Clubhouse is it's a totally different platform from Facebook and Twitter. So now you have it's being bumped up to that same plateau. Um, so to answer your first question, I do think that it's a combination of both. I think there are some people just creating apps just to get a bag because they see it's a niche right now and that they want to get involved in the game. They want to see if I can get my company to be valued at $1 billion or 50 million, however it sees fit. I think there are some people that truly want to make claim and make a name for themselves by creating an app or creating a product that, quite frankly, is missing in the industry that can help people kind of have life be more convenient. And I think there's other people that really just honestly they love tech enough where they just want to do something, and it really doesn't matter what it is. They just know a lot of good people and they want to be involved and they have the money to do so. So and honestly, me being in tech is great to see sometimes, but it's also kind of frustrating because it's hard to decipher which is which. You really don't know anybody's true intentions a lot of times, but you kind of have to start listening and paying attention and watching their maneuvers to understand. Okay, this is what you're really trying to do here. So I think it's tech is tech is going to be the death of us, but I think it can also kind of be somewhat of a savior as well. It's just depending on whose hands it falls in. And we as consumers have to be smarter. And I think that's really where the problem lies.
Yeah,
I like that point.
to
Go ahead.
piggyback off of the consumer piece of the situation is it doesn't help when it's continually supported because what you're telling I'm not gonna say inventors, but the creators of their concepts is that it is welcome because they have an audience that's gonna buy it. And who's gonna cut off production from something that's selling? I mean, nobody's gonna say I have a high demand and I'm not gonna feel it if I have that capability. So some of this also has to fall on the shoulders of the consumers that are supporting these products.
Y'all bringing up good cases on that. Some of the things that kind of stick out to me. The reason why I wanted to bring up this topic, the reason why I felt this was a good starting point is a lot of people are screaming equity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they we feel that it's not equal opportunities to go and get into these positions where these tech companies. We have yet, or not. Let me not say yet. There are black tech companies, predominantly black tech companies out there. They don't get any of the recognition. So, reason why I'm thinking, let's be. I'm gonna go straight to it. Clubhouse. Everyone is screaming like, "Oh, Clubhouse wouldn't have jumped off if it wasn't for us." The people in the black community, the people of the hip hop community, the people that drive culture. They the Clubhouse wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them. Like they put it out there and it wasn't doing well, and then we got on there and we sauced it up. You know what I'm saying? But I can also look at those same people who say that and say, if you didn't know they was white, would you still say that same thing? If this was a black owned company, would those same comments be made? Because I mean, regardless of how you look at it, somebody's gonna create it and somebody's gonna get paid.
hmm
Yep.
There's nothing out there in that realm. I mean, I got other thoughts on Clubhouse where I'm gonna hold off on, but there's other things out there in that realm that could take that space that we don't mention or don't. But even if it was black, white, whatever, if you ain't got no ownership in it, you can still make the same claim. There's no equity in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's funny to me because um, we always clamor like, oh, Black Twitter, right? Um, Black Twitter is not it's not another app. It's just a section of people on Twitter that are black that just happen to talk about topics for our community. We don't have any equity in that, and I think it's a thing where there are being articles and think pieces written about Black Twitter. We don't own anything, and honestly, we can't thrive as a community if we don't own any equity. But we also can't thrive if we don't support the things that are already there for us to enjoy. Spoke Hub is a perfect example. That app has been out there since 2009. Actually, I'm sorry, 2012. Nobody really uses that app like that. It's a nice app. It's got and it's the layout isn't really that great. But then I've submitted feedback to them on that. But people don't really use it. Like Ra Ali was the only person I ever saw using it like that. And of course, she's on Love and Hip Hop fame, so she's got her following on there. But after that, it's kind of just died out. It's fizzled. It's still around because there are some people still using it, but like we got apps out there that people should support. It's just kind of like to the point where it's just mind boggling. We scream equity. We scream, oh, you don't have any app, or we built this app. Like to your point, Bruce, how about we start doing this on a platform where it is ours? Or how about some of these owners just don't show their face? We don't know who they are. Let's do it that way. Because are you still gonna have those same sentiments? Are you still gonna share that same sentiment? So
See, Clubhouse did something slick though, because they have the dude Bomani X as the cover for Clubhouse for a long while.
hmm
And I mean, I don't want to say that's kind of necessarily putting lipstick on the pig, but some people could say that, hey, we're just gonna put this black man on the cover. It's almost like the companies in the beginning, like that was saying, like, oh, Black Lives Matter or about black equity, but don't actually do the things to make that happen. I
Yeah.
mean, granted, Clubhouse is still in its beta, so I'm not gonna go crazy on Clubhouse like some other people do because this isn't an app that everybody can just get on at this moment.
Right.
They're not making any money because they're just getting investments, but it's not like they've gone public or any of that stuff. They're nowhere near where Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or where that stuff is.
Mm.
But is that a welcome change just by saying, "Oh, we're gonna put this is one of our people that work for the company," and then granted they've done this for black. This is black male, but it's been a black woman earlier in. There was a. I mean, I don't know if I don't want to speak for people's. Like, it's somewhat somebody could say a LGBTQ member that was on it. There's those things like that. They're just kind of like we're gonna put you as representation, even though y'all might not be represented in that boardroom.
Right.
Now, is that a claim or is that a strategy to make it seem as if we're more welcoming?
I mean, I think that's always going to fall on to the side of strategy, just because of how we've seen it exemplified and displayed. Uh, because at that point we're still talking about equity and we're not in it. Being the face of something is not necessarily like you just said, stating that you have a seat at the table in the boardroom. It's just that you own all the posters because you can help us market and reach audiences that we can't if were posters that look like us. And we know who the biggest consumers are, so we're just targeting you guys. And like I just said, the consumer has the power. No one's going to support anything or continue to put money behind a product or a service if it's not being utilized. So again, we've always been in a spot of power, but can we use it correctly to our advantage, or are we going to continue to uh, bash and ask for, not ask for, but say what we built without using the skill and the real power that we have, which is the power in numbers. So I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on that. Like I know what the companies can do and as a strategy standpoint, but at the same time, if it's working for them, if I were in their shoes, I couldn't tell you that I would change. You know what I'm saying? If I'm putting my money towards a business venture that I was interested in and it's successful, I'm gonna spread it across as many products and services that I can. But I don't know. It's different standards across the board, and people are gonna look at it differently. People are gonna have multiple different avenues to their opinions and their thought processes, which they are entitled to. But at the end of the day, to simplify it all, if it's being supported and you are utilizing it, you're kind of ridding your voice for any type of decision making. I mean, that's just kind of is what it is with that piece. As far as I see it, as far as I see it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd have to agree with Ty on that one too. I mean, that's kind of. I would like to hope that it's not, but we're in 2021. Things don't seem to change as much, even from 50, 20, 100, 500 years ago, 40 years ago. So, um, you know, they are going to do what they have to do at the end of the day. Um, and honestly, money talks and it walks. So, if they want to sign off to do that, and I think they got somebody else doing it now. I don't know who that individual is, but they have another person who's on the cover now, which I think is another minority. So that might just be again like a strategic selling point. Like, hey, we're not going to have a specific icon. We're just going to use certain people that are fluctuating around in these rooms that we can market, and they're going to just kind of be in these rooms. But I'm curious to know if these individuals are getting uh, paid to kind of be in these rooms because Bomani kind of seems to be jumping in every room all of a sudden. Like
Well,
when he was a
he was already doing I mean I got in a little later
Mhm.
on the app, but since I've been on the app, he's always been a person that's kind of been around.
Right.
I think a great strategy that they do when you first sign up for the app, they pretty much recommend everybody that works at the company.
Yeah.
I mean, from my quick glance at it, I mean, I could be completely off based on that, but it seems as if they say these are the people who are Clubhouse. They hear like they working in the building, so you should follow them.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's kind of dope too, because that basically allows you to kind of like see, all right, who's here, and then you can kind of almost like, hey, see what rooms they're in. Like, okay, they're like they're in this room, they're in that room. So, and they're pretty active too. Which I mean, if I worked on the app, I would be too.
Yeah.
I'd want to be
Yeah.
involved because it's also UI testing. Like, I was let me
Right.
see how this is being done. Let's see what's going on. And it seems as if too, they're scouring these rooms to find out what's the best way to go about building the company more. You know, I think they're trying to
Mhm.
work on now doing new features like, you know, adding tips to certain things, or so you're in certain rooms, or even doing subscriptions or tickets, basically, so many to get to a specific room, to kind of help with the actual moderators that are deemed on the platform. So it's going to be interesting to see how they take that evaluation that they received and start making money, in hopes that they don't have the same fate that Snapchat had with trying to find avenues of creating revenue.
See, now you see how that man just threw that. He just threw that Steve Nash pass ready for me to look.
Man, right off the backboard, right off the
Layup.
backboard.
What is the stop, or what would your guesstimate be for a Facebook or a Twitter to put out their rendition of a Clubhouse? Somebody that's already established that could slap an app like that together faster than a normal development timeline would be. Because usually a development timeline for just a beta is like a almost a year.
Hmm.
But when you in a certain place, or you have a certain amount of engineers that you can dedicate to making something, you already see the groundwork. What would be your both of you? I'm gonna ask you both because I mean, me and Mike in tech, and that's why it's great to have Tyrone on here talking about this, because he's more from the consumer standpoint. Because the next question is gonna come up after that. What would be your guesstimate time for one of those companies making a competitor?
Listen, man, Facebook is already working on it, so I'm not gonna lie to you. They probably started right around what, maybe November, possibly. So I think once they kind of got ahead, I think they started working on it probably November. So for them, I'd probably give them I give them 6 months in totality. Uh, Twitter, I'd probably say it may take them a little bit longer, being that they're kind of late to come on to certain things, just kind of from their history. Because Twitter does a very strategic thing. I think they like to find ways where they want to do the same thing, but they want to do it in their fashion. Facebook, on the other hand, just wants to recreate everything and just throw their logo on it because it's the name that's selling it. It's not necessarily the platform. It's not
Mhm.
whatever feature they're adding. It's just Facebook. So,
Yeah.
um, and plus on top of that too, Facebook has a way, because they have so many companies, they have a way of integrating that across all of their major apps, WhatsApp, Instagram. So how is this going to play into their platforms now? 'Cause Instagram already has IG Live. So if you're going to, and maybe I'm talking too much, I don't want to give too much away, but
Oh, go ahead if you want to. Just know they got to come. Just know where we came from,
yeah,
and know who they got to talk to get that
Yeah.
credit.
that's yeah, facts. You know what happens if IG Live all of a sudden now has it where, I don't know, you can have 100 people on IG Live now. You can add people into those rooms. You can have those conversations. You can have people commenting, or you can bring people up, so to speak, and or you can mute certain mics, and you can have a platform where you have almost 50 people talking at the same time on Instagram Live. So how is that going to be? Because now you have a video component of it. Now you get to the point where now you can
Mhm.
actually see who you're talking to.
Exactly.
You can actually kind of have a live interactive conversation where you can't hide behind a microphone. Now you got to hide behind the mic and the camera. So it's going to be interesting to see what Facebook does with this.
I'm gonna let Spy answer this
He
because
itching over
you
there, boy.
alluding to some things that I can. What What's your intake time? What's your timeline on this?
Oh man, listen, I don't know. Like Bruce mentioned, you two brothers are in the tech. I'm not too familiar with what a respectable timeline would be. However, coming from a company as big as Facebook, I would have to only assume uh, that it wouldn't take as long. Since you had mentioned a year, I was on the same wave of cutting that in half. Just with all of the resources that they have at their disposal to go ahead and produce something. Because with these things, I think a important thing is to not let too much time pass before you miss it. And it's because trends like this kind of come and go. However, social media has been a different beast. I mean, I think it's always going to be here. It's just different features and capabilities that are going to be added. Such as some other waves and trends. It's not like clothes. You're gonna do this one way and it's gonna come back around. I feel like it's gonna be obsolete to do it an old way, and you never gonna see that again, like a Windows 98. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
But I do
Ooh.
I do think you're just going to continue to be able to add more features, connectability, and I think Mike is kind of right on the head with the multiple people, multiple faces. I mean, everybody's buying a camera. Everybody wants the 4K video, and they want to be able to see and um I don't see that part going away. And especially with the times that we're in, a lot of things are going to be have to go through virtual types of things, and I can see a lot of people coming back from that capability, such as like lounges and clubs. I mean, because now you can set up a situation where only this
Mm.
certain people are into this avenue. Like, and you can set it up like only you can get in if you have a subscription or something to that effect, and it can still go off as a party, or
Like
as an event.
Clubhouse.
Exactly.
Like Clubhouse, where you have
Yeah,
to have an invite to get
exactly,
Yep.
in the party.
Yep.
exactly. But then you can see, you could feel like you more in a room with video versus just audio.
So, all right. You brothers have brought up some good points that I can go a couple of different ways. One, what's all right. So if you mentioned the video option.
Yeah.
Who controls video? Is it the apps or is it the phone creators that control video? Because right now, Clubhouse is still on iOS only. So we
Hmm.
talking about Apple. So Apple already has a feature where you can have up to 32 people on a FaceTime together at the
Hmm.
same time.
Mhm.
What if Apple, and I mean, I might be giving away some free stuff, but you know what, man?
Come check the credits. That's all we got to say. Come check the
Hey,
credits.
report your sources, man. This is grade school.
If I'm Apple, I already got the app is mine. Like it's on my app. Like the app, yes, you own the app, but it's in my app store. They got to come to me to get you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I know where you're going. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I'm Apple, then why don't I be like, hey man, how about I add a feature in FaceTime where you can connect with people, like it's like a chat room, and we doing the same thing except as video, and it can only be 32 people in a room at a time. But to get in these rooms, you gotta have an invite because
S-
one of the things that comes up about Clubhouse is the privacy part. And I mean, granted, that's on the people who scream that ignorance because you on a public app thinking you can get privacy, which is like, come on, bro.
It's idiotic.
You know what I mean? So, but what if they
Yeah.
say, "Hey, look, we like privacy at Apple. Apple's doing a run right now about security, but we want to be entertaining too. We want to, get something that the people want. People want to be on video. How about we give y'all FaceTime, Zoom ish, except there's actually rooms that you can go by and it's like, oh, Ty in this room? Oh, bet. The only way we all know each other is because we all in each other contacts.
Hmm.
So I can hit, hey, I can hit a message and it says I want to join the room, and it sends a message to Ty. Or if If it's multiple people I know, it sends messages to them. Bruce want to join your room. Oh yeah, dope, man. I'm about to bring my man Bruce in. We're gonna chop it up. We do the pod. That's my brother. We're gonna boom. I'm in the room. Now I'm networking with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already pre-baked in the app. That's another. I'm giving away a lot. That's another reason to get people to get up off that Android to come to iPhone. Because now I can go on this iPhone and we all in this chat, especially when we're supposed to be in the house anyway. And I'm networking and moving and shaking with everybody
Mm-hmm.
in the house, getting that warm feeling like I'm being involved. We seen Zoom when they numbers are doing. I've been talking too much. What are y'all thoughts? Y'all gotta cut me off because y'all let me just run.
No,
Nah.
that's good because I'll be honest with you because then now you get into that territory where you already have an ecosystem in place where you have apps that just interconnect, you have devices that interconnect. So now what you're doing is you're opening up the ecosystem to include all Apple users. So now you really have an exclusivity. If you ain't got an iPhone, you can't get nowhere near this. And what that does is it kind of negates a specific niche of people who have Android devices, who may have a Google device, or who may just not, they may still use a flip phone. So now it's only for Apple users, which could be a selling point because I mean you have the app, and basically now you're telling Clubhouse, okay, well we're going to take you off from the App Store. Now you're only on the Play Store. Now you got to go to Android because you can't come here no more. You can't play in this arena no more. And that opens up a whole different thing. It's kind of almost like BBM was, like BlackBerry Messenger was at one point in time.
Or
See,
the
look.
sidekick.
Passes.
Hey, my man threw the behind the back. I had to catch that. I had to catch that. It's just, I mean, it's just, and the only thing BlackBerry, and I'm sorry, BlackBerry. I wish I would have thought about this a long time ago because y'all would have made a killing.
Everybody was already doing it. Like,
y'all
nothing's new.
yeah.
Nothing,
Yeah.
and to get to the grand scheme of this, nothing's new under the sun. Nothing's new under the sun. Clubhouse is not new. We was doing this. It's called the phone chat line. Back up, show my age. It's called the phone chat line. You call the number, and once you call the number, you get in these rooms. You give them a description of yourself. Ty, what's up? You want to say something? What's up?
We need to pause. Our battery pack just
All right.
fucking died.
Okay.
All right.
Damn, camera just cut off.
Now we was talking about BlackBerry Messenger, and
Yeah. Fuck,
And
I don't
then
know
I
how
had
we
threw
gonna
in
cut
a
it.
sidekick.
I honestly don't know how we're gonna cut it, but we're gonna make a way.
Yeah. So I mean, and in all honesty, Bruce, to answer your question about just that, I think that BBM is just really going to be where people kind of use their basis off of. So if Apple does decide to do something like that, that could change the way things are done forever. And that's a scary thought too, because now we have a lot of these large companies. Some of these just kind of like tech companies like Google and Apple. If they ever happen to develop something like that, it could be game changing. So then you getting all the small guys out the way. And honestly, the government can't really regulate that because that's what Apple decides to do. They want to build something like that. Like if they get into electric car business, nobody can try to break up Apple at all. Right?
You're already doing it.
Yeah. So like they can't just say, hey, Apple, we don't want you guys making electric cars. Nah, we spending our own bread. We don't need y'all. This is what our company decides to do. We don't have any regulations to hold us back. We're not that other guy over there in Silicon Valley that wants to buy up all these apps because he doesn't have the proprietary information or fortitude to create his own. He wants to just buy his competitors out. So,
well, because this is different hustlers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
it's different hustlers.
Absolutely.
The brand Apple isn't reliant on Cook. Yes, he's a great head, great manager of the company, great CEO, but it don't stop and go with where he go or what he decides. Whereas your other man, who now dealing with Cook, you know what I mean? Because Cook like, no, we chopping this up. It's about to be donezo. Now he's scrambling because he ain't got no hardware. And that's too
That's the
tech.
key.
Like that's going way tech for y'all. But these apps don't understand or don't realize that it's just a little this and I get you out of here.
Right.
If I decided like I got a vendetta against you, I can dedicate the resources and get you out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a reason why Google started making
Phone.
hardware.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I mean, it's not as successful, but it's theirs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of y'all sitting on real estate and don't even know what to do with it because y'all ain't got the people in the room to tell y'all where to take that next level. You buy it and you like, all right, we're just gonna let it do what it do, and you're not giving anything to it. You mentioned your not GroupMe, WhatsApp. You sitting on WhatsApp. What's to stop WhatsApp from doing the implementation of Clubhouse right now? You ain't got that. That's a quick coding. Bing.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Rooms. Introducing rooms. Everybody got WhatsApp on every device. What's to stop them to do that now? But they don't got the people in the room to be able to say that. To be able to say like, yo, the culture out here saying like, you know what I mean? Clubhouse, they dope, but they not for everybody. They can be got. Why don't we go ahead and put our rendition of it on WhatsApp?
All I gotta say is if we see WhatsApp pop up with them rooms, I want Bruce to get a check, and I want that check to be cut immediately.
Well, because the thing is, WhatsApp gonna do it, and then Google Hangouts gonna come out with it too.
Actually, Google. Let's be honest here. Google doesn't really care, and I think that's part of the problem because they don't have the people in the room that can say, "Hey, you guys could be more than just an email service chain. You guys can be more than just a search engine. Like, you guys have enough money. You guys have brought enough companies, acquired enough companies to be able to have the same technology and the same success as your competition."
But sometimes to go back to that manager, to that head, sometimes people just, hey, look, I'm comfortable. I already changed the game. When you go to search something online, you say, let me Google that. Do you know how big that is in the business mind? Now I'm giving y'all the business thoughts.
Yeah.
It's a reason why we know certain tissues and we refer to, hey, give me a Kleenex.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't even Kleenex.
It ain't even Kleenex.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know, Kleenex up in here.
You know what I mean? It don't matter what it is. Give me a Kleenex.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's certain things that, give me a Coke.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have Coke, but we know what that Coke means.
Mm-hmm. Let me get them
when
Clark
I said,
swipes.
I got Pepsi for you, RC Cola. We already know the recognition of the name and what that means. Chicago, they say pop. East Coast, they say Coke. West Coast, they say soda.
Yep.
So a lot of like the Google, they just think they whatever. We got our bread. They gonna come to us no matter what. Who else they gonna go to? Ask Jeeves?
Nah, Jeeves dead.
Who they gonna go to?
Jesus, long gone.
Facebook in that similar reign because they got MySpace up out of there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So everything social media is Facebook. But the thing is that they didn't account for is that Facebook would get old. The only thing they grasping onto now is that they have those companies that invested that lane to get people to stay on Facebook. That network. It's some of the older people, like people older than us, that's what their reliance is. It's too, like, jumping to something else is just too difficult for them. So they dumbed it down.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is they losing the grip because the youth is like, man, Facebook is dead. I'm not on that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like people, like the Instagram is going through the same exact thing. And this ain't the tech podcast. I'm just giving y'all what I see.
Right.
Instagram is going through the same exact thing. The kids go on Snapchat. Us as the elders was saying, yo, Snapchat dead. They live and well, buddy.
Yeah.
It ain't for us.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
It's like getting a stock early in. I might not get everybody off the jump, but if I push my stock to get the people that's going to drive up the fortunes in the future and I can wait it out, let me do that. Let me get in early. So that way when it matures, I'm on top of the world. Bitcoin. Let's go there. Cryptocurrency. Everybody want one now. Everybody got one now.
Mm.
They was on podcasts talking about it. Shout out Joe.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't jump into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So they have it. Although Nipsey, rest in peace, was talking about that years ago.
One of the first
Everybody
ones.
looked at it. Everybody was like, oh yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah. He was one of the first ones.
But now everybody want to jump on it. Everybody want to jump on. Imagine if I had bought some damn Bitcoin 5 years ago. You couldn't tell me now. I'd be up here right now talking like Pomp.
straight. Hey, I'm going to the bank today.
Straight like that.
Oh man!
Shout out to Pump. Shout out to Pump, man. Yeah, I mean it's the cryptocurrency world is kind of getting a little nasty right now. And I think this celebrity surgence in cryptocurrency is a little alarming to me, because now you're gonna put attention to an unregulated, decentralized currency that, quite frankly, now you're gonna want these people behind the scenes to start pushing for regulations. And that's kind of what I'm really gonna hate about it. A lot of these governments don't necessarily really accept cryptocurrency. There's a few. You know, Amsterdam, I think, is one. I think China their government has banned cryptocurrency for the most part. So it's in India is another one that's kind of trying to ban cryptocurrency. But you know, Hove and Jack Dorsey apparently want to try to push their way through that door.
Hey, but the thing is, where the people get lost is they think of Bitcoin as a form of currency. Cryptocurrency. They look at it as a form of cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those guys who start to make the money don't look at it that way.
Mm-mm.
They're not trying to take their Bitcoin and go to Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
drop a few coins. They'll go trade in the Bitcoin. Like they treat it like art. We go ahead and buy this, put this off to the side, let that run up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think I'm not gonna tell people what it, because this is not the financial podcast either. But what is it if you got some extras on the side and you see it and you just watch the market a little bit? It's kind of easy to think about. They doing it with sneakers. I'm gonna buy these, put these up on the side. These Jerry Lorenzo's about to run up.
Yeah.
I bought them for 200. I'm gonna flip them right now for a G. If I wait a little longer, I'm gonna be able to flip it for 1,500,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
$2,000, $3,000. Like that's how it works. That's how stocks work. So now people like, man, y'all let me ramble again. Like, come on, man.
Nah, you get. I was
Come
gonna
on,
ask you a
come on,
question.
Ty.
I was gonna ask you a question though. I think the difference is, from my perspective, is long term versus short term. You know, I think when a lot of, I guess, newcomers or people that think about cryptocurrency that wasn't around it when it originated, it's like you said, they're trying to, align it with the dollar to get up, get in and get out, or get in, get up and out. When a lot of times, if you hold on to it a little bit longer, let it fester, let it grow, let it do its thing, and be more so of a long term investor, you can open yourself up to more opportunities. But do you think that's the difference of the people that's saying they're excited to get in and get out? You think the mindset is just more of a short term versus long term? And while you asking that question, do you think cryptocurrency should be treated as a short term or a long term goal or investment?
So I look at it like this: with everything, you got short time thinkers, short term thinkers, long term thinkers.
Right.
Cryptocurrency, the way I look at it right now, is the beginning of what the stock market was. Like, to me, I'm not mad at the companies jumping in, because when the companies start to jump in, the government oversees it, and some of the things that some of the complaints people say, oh, it's too volatile. But when the government jumps in, is they have this phrase that they call too big to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And what that mean is, if it's so many people involved in it, they're gonna do what they're gonna do to make sure that all these companies in America don't lose their money.
Mm-hmm.
So when the stock market crashes, what does the American government do? I ain't gonna tell you. Google it. I ain't gonna tell you, because again, this ain't a financial podcast.
Facts.
Yeah.
When the real estate market starts to crumble, what do? Google it.
Yep.
So for all y'all out here, man, I ain't trying to put my money in that. It's too volatile, man, because the government trying to jump on it. Oh, okay. I ain't gonna look for the government to save me neither. So if anything, when you deal with money, you gotta do your own research. Get on it. And then for your last question, do I look at it as a short term or long term? It's a long term play, but you got to make sure that you doing your research for which crypto is considered a long term play. Don't go get the Lindsay Lohan coin and think that's going to be a long term play.
You'd be broke as hell tomorrow.
You know what I mean? Like, I can go get an RC Cola. It's going to taste somewhat like Coke, but it ain't Coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus,
What's your thoughts, Mike?
Plus, you got to go and search high for that RC Cola, because it just ain't everywhere.
It's in
It's in them country convenient gas stations is where you can find it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I short or long term, I think it's a smart play. And what I mean by that is you have to have a level of security and smartness within your mind to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to put my money in here. It's also kind of goes along with how much people value money. So I think
that's another pod.
yeah, because I think with this cryptocurrency, outrage or excitement that we have around it right now, you really see how people value their dollars, how people value really their future fortunes, and how people value their current fortunes. Some people that just want to get in and get out, they just want a quick buck. They just want to hit it while it's hot. Hey, you know what? I got 20,000. I'm out. I got 20 more thousand than what I had before I got into it. That's great. Cool. What happens when it hits 200,000? Then what? You're going to sit back and wonder, wish I should have held on to that just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So you got to be very smart with that. And I agree with Russo. It's definitely a long-term play. And I think really all the stock market is long-term play. That's why they only give you to your age of retirement to really go through with your 401k. There's specific measures in place that are put there for you to grow and double your money. That's why, people get outraged like, I'm losing money this year. Are you really? Because you might have lost a few $1,000s, but what happens when, I don't know, the airline industry gets some assistance or handout? What happens when the hospitality industry gets a handout? What happens when the real estate market gets a handout? They get a boost. All that stuff is going to reverse. And if you have your money in the right platform, which is another conversation, you'll start to see that you'll be fine. Your money will be fine. Um, and I think there's a huge kick, and push for people to buy gold bullions. Well, it's illegal to hold gold bars. So unless you know somebody in the black market that can get you a few that you can stock away, cool. You just can't go buy gold bars everywhere. You know what I mean? I get the kid. We gotta have gold bars. That's cool. Where can I find some? Where did you get yours? Oh, I forgot. You want to charge me for it? But I'm gonna stay away from that.
And if somebody hits you over the head for those gold bars, like you can't get that back.
Nope.
No.
Who
There's
you
a
gonna cry
stop.
to?
I can have
The gold bar.
them gold bars and stop.
That's who you gonna cut to.
Who they gonna hit the head? Tell me who they find at Wall Street to go hit them in the head to get them bars.
Yeah.
It ain't
But I
happening.
mean, it's a certain mentality, man. Certain mentality. What's your thoughts, Ty? From hearing our points.
I think you can always turn something into a positive. In terms of investing, I think it's a play you can make to make it make sense for you. Whether that's short term or long term. One thing I will say is without don't go off of the wave. Don't go off of what you see on TV and what you hear. Like
Mhm.
get some understanding for yourself. And align yourself with some trusted resources and some people that are in those avenues to kind of not take their word for it, but to get some enlightenment or some perspective on what other people are experiencing. Because one thing is, a lot of people, they do want that quick buck or they do want the quick, how I need something right now. And that's cool to need something right now, but it's a way that you go about what are you gonna sacrifice for that need right now? And is that sacrifice worth it? Am I gonna go and grab out, a couple thousand of savings or my emergency fund just because the world is going crazy about crypto? Maybe, maybe not. If I feel like after I get my ducks in a row about my research that I have done, if it makes sense, I might jump in. If it don't, I'ma hold on to it. But I think the key here is to not get caught up on too many perspectives about people that you don't know about. Um, just get your own understanding. Get your own hard concrete evidence for yourself. And now then when you do that, I think you'll definitely be okay with actually thinking it through properly. But
Yeah, that's
for me to jump in to crypto, I I kind of treat all my investments as a long term because I want something to be working for me until I can get to a point to um, do some other things. But you always want something steady, kind of clocking and running while you're going to sleep. Just because you never know what's going to happen, because you always want that little net. Um, and then you can capitalize on the gains when they come, and obviously you're gonna have negative days too. But if you're in there for long term, that ain't gonna scare you.
that's key, man. Do your research. Even if you got an investor, even if you got just a 401k, even if you ain't got nothing invested in, you on a block, or you sell shoes, or you open a business. Do your research. It don't matter what you
Hmm.
do.
Yeah.
If you doing it to make money, even if you just got a 9 to 5, do your research on what's happening out here.
Facts.
Because these people don't owe you nothing. These companies don't owe you nothing. Here
Yeah.
today, gone tomorrow. A lot of people got surprised when this pandemic happened and they wasn't prepared. And a lot of people who were prepared, they ran it up, and they still running it up right now
Yeah.
because they've been prepared. This is the thing they've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank God, I'm about to go crazy right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you got some knowledge, man, just say, hey, man, look, you might want to look into this to your friends, family, people you know
Hmm.
who want to have a little ambition is, get themselves out of their situations. Hey man, go check this out. They got some good knowledge on there for you. You know what I mean? Like these some plays that you can play, like to make.
And I
But do your
think that's a
research.
huge thing that's missed, especially in our community. You
Yeah,
know, the it's not a handout, it's a resource.
yeah,
And you and let the resource do its work. We're not asking or you to go and say, "Hey, like this is exactly what I did from A to Z." No, like this is a if you're interested enough, that's on you. But, at least what I can do, this has worked for me in a way that I think it can benefit you, and here it is. Like now it's time for you to go do your part, but a lot of us don't do that. A lot of us don't even do that initial thing like, "Hey man, why you should really check this out." You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm getting some good returns or I'm getting some good benefits from this. You should really go look into it.
And don't
Because
look at us saying we long play people as an indictment on you. You could be a short play person.
yeah.
Those people do exist, and they make a lot of money too.
Absolutely.
hmm
Absolutely.
But they do their research to know, like, oh, this is going to affect this. I'm not giving y'all the facts of what's because y'all better do your research. Don't just look at me and listen to me and think, hey, the dude on the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast, Bruce told me, like, no, I ain't tell you nothing. I told you to go research. But I think it's dope where we're at right now. A lot of people are having those conversations amongst the community. Even people outside of the community
Yeah.
are having conversations with people in the community, which
Mhm.
is major.
Major. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of, well, not a lot of people are starting to realize that we can't just rely on each other to pull ourselves out. You gotta get, you know what I mean? You got, even if it is just sitting in the room being quiet and listening and inheriting that game. Because usually it's the people is in that who got it, they don't want to tell us who don't got it. They gonna tell the people who do got, hey man, I got this play I'm running. What do you think Martha Stewart went to jail for?
hmm
She was in the room, got the play, put the play in action. It worked real good. Won the Super
real,
Bowl.
real good.
Mhm.
Government caught that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turned that back. Turned that one off.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
That banner came down. Like you got the championship and all, but it coming down though, NCAA style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring that all the way back.
they confiscated that flag. They confiscated that joint.
Yes,
But no,
sir.
man, I just think it's dope that we starting to have these conversations, and especially on this podcast, have those conversations. You know what I mean? We got a lot of listeners that there's this we got a sporadic listening group. You know what I mean? They got a lot of young, we got a lot of older, we got a lot of everybody.
Mhm.
And I've been on that empowerment stuff, man, because the government ain't gonna save you. And it's 1.9 trillion or whatever they trying to do. That ain't even enough to, you know what I mean? So it's time to put some actions into play.
Yeah.
I ain't telling you to take that money that you do get and invest it. But I'm telling you, some people is getting that money and investing it.
Mhm.
hmm
And to add to that point, society is always about change. Change is inevitable. And if you don't make the necessary changes to adapt to the changes around you, then you're going to get left behind.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
Anything else we want to say, fellas, man? We gave him a good hour on the comeback.
For sure. This is
Still
a good
feel
one.
like we got the 45 on. We ain't got the 23 back on yet, but we getting there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we working our way back. Don't worry.
For sure. For sure. That's all.
We getting playing in game shape.
Yeah. When we come back to form, though, we going 72-10. So,
Oh boy.
Oof.
Oh boy.
so you know. But nah, I ain't got nothing else, man. I just think this was a good pod, and I hope people, really pay attention to what the information is being deciphered, and we're gonna give you all a lot more of these in this
Yeah.
coming year.
Yeah, man. I
sir.
mean, it was a good comeback to the office. Good gathering. But we got a whole lot more in store, man. This is just the beginning, and I'm just excited to be a part of this journey with my brothers, man. So thank y'all for tuning in to another one.
Yes, sir, man. There you have it, man. Whiskey and Wisdom, episode 1, season 3. We back. 1 mic episode.
Put the ones up.
Figuratively
Throw the
and
ones
literally.
up.
Hey, look, figuratively and literally, one mic.
Facts.
But man, as always, it's dope to get with y'all and listening, listeners who listen to the podcast, man. Y'all can always check us out on the social networks. Instagram, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Go and search us up, you'll find us. On Twitter, Whiskey and Wiz Pod 1. We be putting out some little chats and little discussions there. You can also check us out on YouTube. Video is out now. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to be giving y'all, serving y'all up some stuff there. As always, listen, subscribe, save, recommend, send recommendations. I said that twice. But, you know, what do they say? Listen, subscribe, like. There we go.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, comment. There we go.
Yeah.
On the audio versions on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. Man, make sure that y'all check us out, man. Keep it locked in for the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. We're gonna serve y'all up every week. We won't take no more breaks. We back.
We back.
And like always, man, listen is learning. We still on that. Protect your head. Protect your knowledge. Peace.
Peace.